then interpret the environment. Like that guy, Muiruri, I will drink him slap. Ametulia. Karacha, let's talk. Exposure is how living things interact with the environment. When a child is born, for example, they experience the world or they learn about the world they're in using sensory exposure. This is using sight, smell, taste, touch, and hearing. And later on, when language develops, they're able to interpret, to label, and then to know how to respond to the environment they're in. Exposure basically is anything you can label as new. When you read a new book, you're being exposed. When you listen to a new song, you're being exposed. When you meet a new person, you're being exposed. When you see a different or a new side of that person, you're being exposed. Interacting with something you did not know before is exposure. And one thing that we don't like or don't prefer that works as exposure. Exposure. What was I saying? Exposure. And one of the things that is a tool for exposure is failure. Episode 1652, From Highs to Lows.
Yes, help is not, it's not the place, it's the point you've reached. If you've reached a certain point, any rehab will work. But here's the kicker. At some point, for you to start recovery, you need to go to rehab because you need to be denied access. But if you've reached a certain point where you're denied that access from, if it's a rehab or a cell or whatever, if someone can maroon you in a house and justify it, and you've reached that point, anywhere will work.
So at this time, had you reached that point? This is your fourth time.
Yes, almost.
We did a video recently where we talked about how consistency is not in failing to break a streak, but it's in continuing regardless of the number of times you break that streak. For 10 years, Eric Motiso was consistently fighting against his addiction, and he failed many times, and he got back up just as many times as he'd failed, and this time he used the knowledge he had gotten from all those times before to inform him how he's going to navigate through the next storm. Failure is a chance to start again, but this time more intelligently.
Well, the second, third, fourth, I had reached that point of I don't want to drink anymore, but I don't have all the tools.
Oh,
I'm not yet equipped to actually stay the course. So every time I'm trying, at some point I fall short.
I get it.
So it's not that I would chuck and just drink and I would try. And that's why I keep talking about willpower and goodwill. I even did AA for a while.
You know, it's not that you're being rebellious here.
Yeah, I was.
At that time, with the information that you have from when you've left rehab, you put your all in it.
Yes.
There's a different force in you that is fighting against you.
Yeah. And then now, with every subsequent time, you can either get weaker or stronger. Because you're getting tired, man.
Why aren't you getting weaker?
You're getting tired. Because I was closer to my dream, I had learned new lessons that I would try and now use this other time.
So you were getting stronger?
Yes.
The wind does not break a tree that bends. Again, taking you back to a video we've done recently, that the captain that failed to adjust the sails of his ship and tried to fight against the storm was destroyed. All this is a lesson in how you choose to respond. Maji yakimwagika hayazoleki. You have found yourself here. Now what do you do about it? How long will you mourn? Scripture. The Lord said to Samuel, how long will you mourn over Saul, seeing that I have already rejected him as king? Let me find the second part. The Lord said to Samuel, how long will you mourn for Saul, since I have already rejected him as king over Israel? Fill your horn with oil and be on your way. I am sending you to Jesse of Bethlehem. I have chosen one of his sons to be king. How long will you mourn over Saul? Fill your horn with oil and be on your way. Is there anything else? Let me read this last one as we conclude. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. And let me say what Richie says. Don't waste your pain. Don't waste your failure. If anything, at least come out with a lesson from that. How long will you mourn over Saul? Fill your horn with oil and be on your way.
On my part, after the first time, because the first time I didn't really understand much, I was too young. every subsequent time I was trying my best, and my best initially was never good enough. And from the outside looking in, anyone could say, you guy, come on, man. But like, I'll give credit to my old man. I'm lucky. I must say I'm one of the few lucky people who had that kind of grace. Like, there's so many ways this thing could have played out, but I'm here. And it's just by the grace of God.